Welcome to JenethTV with my friend Barbara Alexander, who I have to say I've spent the last 3 days with, and oh my goodness, are you in for a treat. She integrates the work of us really being us with horses, and what I like to call horse oneness. So Barbara Alexander from Sacred U Academy is with me today, and we're going to just have a casual, fun conversation on what it is to be with horses. When did this start for you? What was your experience in being with horses? They seem to concur.
Yeah. When I realized that they actually have a voice, that they actually want to connect with us on levels that are beyond anything I ever learned in traditional training of working with horses, when you open to that place with them, it is the most amazing thing. So when I started to learn about that and started to open to that possibility, they did things like that, like join us. They join us in connection if we're willing to listen. And we're willing to connect in this place of mutual respect. And I think that's really, really a critical and can be a subtle piece. Mutual respect is being able to listen as well as give as well as receive, right? To be in communion with another rather than I've got connection because you do what I say, you know what I mean? That's kind of the standard way of being with horses. And it's not about that. And as long as we do that, we have this, we're missing what can be.
Well, so I know that you've got a profound background within corporate. And you have a similar story with me where you just kind of snapped. Why don't you go ahead and share with everyone on what that was all about when you were just like, I can't do this any longer?
Well, there was a point where I thought success was predicated by those outside of me. And so I tried to create within the corporate world based on what my job was and hitting the levels and the goals and rising to be a good girl, and a good employee and do a good job, which is a wonderful thing. I had a great time for a really long time. I really loved what I did. It gave me the opportunity. I manifested travel all over the world and was able to be with my clients and enjoy that piece of it. But there was a point where I realized my soul was calling for something else. And I didn't listen in here because I was busy focusing on what my goals and what was expectations of me were out here and wanting to still continue to do that. But part of me was saying, stop. There's so much more out there, but I didn't know what that was, And it was scary. It was scary to make that shift, that change. But I knew if I didn't, I probably would have gotten very sick. And I know that's kind of like a hard concept. How does not staying in a job have anything to do with your health and well-being, or not stay in a way of life?
Well, I think everyone is, well, at least in this audience, is becoming more and more aware of the energies of what dragged you down. And when it drags you down and it just causes a disease in life, it actually causes disease.
It does,
right?
It does, it really does. So when I listened to that is how I was guided. I had to let go. It's like part of you has to die or end or close so that another piece can open, and that can be a scary place to be.
Absolutely. So then why horses? When did that start? When did you say, you know what, I'm just going to buy this incredible property and I'm going to have horses?
In that place that I've called the sacred void, shared, that place of not knowing but being open to what can be. What brought me joy was my memories of my heart connection to horses. So I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'd never put two and two together. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I'm going to have a horse for fun, for my joy. I didn't know that my life would be, I would create a whole business and, life career. I didn't call it that. It's my life calling, my life career around joy. And the horses were so much a part of that because that's what spoke to my spirit when I was very young. That was the purity of connection for me when I was a little girl. because there was no judgment from a horse, so I always
Right.
felt free to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
free to be through their eyes.
Uh-huh.
And so when I got older and I found out about doing this work, and it just mushroomed from there.
Yeah, yeah, wow. So you brought horses in, and then you started to facilitate these large classes where people came to you that really wanted a deeper sense of being embodied and beyond, way beyond just being embodied. They really came to you because they wanted to say, you know what? I don't want to just be embodied in this world, but I want to be everything I can be in this world. So then you created the Sacred You Academy because you were realizing that
Well, it was all about the Sacred You.
right.
At first I thought it was all about personal growth.
Mhm.
It was all about, you know, learning what's keeping me from moving forward
Right.
in my life, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the deeper things started to come about, and I was
Mhm.
listening to the things that people were learning.
Yeah.
And while they were learning the personal growth stuff, there was
Mhm.
something else happening.
Yeah.
And it was a vibrational
Beyond.
shift.
Uh-huh.
It was a vibrational
Yeah.
shift of
Well,
allowing.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that
Yeah.
vibrational shift. I know in the past few days, I mean, that's what I feel has blown up is just, you know, being in the presence and in the experience that there's a change.
Yeah.
There's a vibrational change, and I love how you use the word allowance. So why don't you talk about, you know, what do people, you know, what is that vibrational shift of really being in allowance and really being just with and in your own presence of it, of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you definitely feel it. You
Mhm.
definitely feel it. And when you are allowing that to happen, and it requires a quieting of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
when the mind can quiet, the heart can open.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments that all this clarity comes to you. It's in those moments that inspiration can be born. Right? So,
Like the universe starts to call through you.
Absolutely.
Right. Love that.
oh my God, it's the
Yeah.
co-creation of life in its
Uh-huh.
infinite possibility. It's the
Yeah.
it's the place I always want to be, you know?
Right.
So I wanted it for myself, so I tried to create a place for people to come to do that, and then create things to move on that
Yeah.
line. But when you allow that, and I found through working with the horses
Mhm.
that it helped me, and the horses showed me how it's not just the horses partly, is
Yeah.
what we've been sharing too, is when you learn how to do this within your body, to
Mhm.
shift to that place where your vibration is open and you're in a state of allowing. You've
Mhm.
let go of all the preconceived stuff and the judgment, and you can do it. I love your work.
Yeah.
You could do it in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
But in that instant, when you have that clarity, is when all the possibility starts to make itself known.
Uh-huh.
And that's how we can break through all kinds of things that block us. It's like
Yeah.
all of a sudden things I didn't see, I see.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah. So, so what are some of the things that people like walk away with? I mean, I know that we, you know, it's like from just change and being more present in allowance, but there's like really profound things that have happened. So why don't you share probably like the most profound story that where somebody has had a really incredible shift in utilizing the horses through this work?
Well, there's like a lot of different ways to do that. Like in a retreat, for example, it's a short period of time. So you can have major breakthroughs in a matter of minutes
Uh-huh.
when you allow that quietness to happen and this openness to start. But shifts in your whole life come from being able to take tools home with you, right?
Right.
So a lot of people have, the feedback I've gotten is that in many retreats, it feels good when you're there, but the residual effects are, it kind of wears off over time.
Mm.
So I believe that the horses help us, I don't know, it's like we get to that place in us that it becomes a cellular knowing. It's, we have a touchstone that's created that you never lose when you leave.
Yeah.
And you can always tap back into that, and you've got the tools to do it, but it still requires practice. So are you would you like me to share a story?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
thought,
what you're
yeah,
thinking?
I thought a story would be fun.
Oh boy, I would like to have thought about this. So let's, give me a second so she can cut
Yeah.
and paste.
Well, and maybe we can bring that.
Let's do your story.
Well, let's bring it back in. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so one of the things that was really exciting to me was you brought in heart math.
Oh yeah.
And I had never experienced those electromagnetic fields in that way. We talk about electromagnetic charges and how the whole universe is created in that, but I didn't realize that there were different fields in that way.
There's a physiological awareness.
Yeah. So why don't you talk a little bit about like how that physiologically, what's happening in our cells goes with the electromagnetic fields that circle around us. Why don't you explain that? I would love to hear.
So these horses are master teachers
Yes.
of energy awareness and vibration. I mean, everything is vibration. I am getting that more and more every day. But they are master teachers in the world of nonverbal communication, right?
Yeah.
So they pick up on energy all around them. And one of the things I've learned with the teachers I have worked with is this awareness, and the studies come from the Heart Math Institute, scientific studies on the electromagnetic fields that we have around us in varying layers.
Yeah.
So when you are starting to be aware, it's so helpful with the horses because they react in such a big way to the energetic shift that happens when you hit one of those layers.
Yeah.
So they can, respond in these kind of ways. You've seen a horse do that in the field.
It's really, really interesting. Yeah. It was, the horse would just be standing and eating, and I would be at the other side of the field, and I was just stepping and being in the awareness, and I would walk, forward just a few feet, and then a horse ear will go up, and then you get closer, and then their eyes will look, and then they won't do anything, and then you hit another field, and you feel it within your body with the sensitivity that you be, and you kind of go, and there's an ease, and it's so subtle.
And the key with that is being able to, when you hit that, to pull your energy back. We call it rock back and breathe.
Rock back and breathe.
So you get into this place of, I'm connecting with you from this space,
energy,
in this
from
space.
this energy.
Yeah, of mutual respect, because I'm honoring where that layer is between us.
Right.
If we can do that in life, when you learn how this feels, in business, in relationships, personal relationships, you take that cellular awareness back with you so that you can learn where I can be in connection with all that is, all of others. So,
in some ways it's up-leveling your awareness.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Expanding to greater awareness, because a human could just be totally ignoring you, where the horse is present to you and right there, so that whenever you hit those what do you call them, electromagnetic fields,
part of the fields,
whenever you hit the next one of those fields, they will show you, so that when you're with a human, even though another human may not show you, you will know.
It's so subtle. I've had people say, if I'm standing there and you're walking towards me, without even realizing it, they're doing this. And they're like, I'm not moving, but it's an involuntary response, or they'll, do something with their eyes, or clench up. There are involuntary moves that they make that you can, as you practice this, you pick up on the subtleties of it and you feel it in your body.
And why don't you share the story about when you have done this in sales meetings and corporate, and it's a slightly different, but it's still kind of a somatic type awareness within the energy of the being.
I thought you were talking about when I beam energy under the table.
Oh no, it was like you could. She was in a conference room, and there was something wonky with one of them. So why don't you share? Go ahead.
So when you're in a group, and everybody's had this experience, when you're in a group, whether you're on a committee or you're in a family gathering or, whatever. When you're in a group of people, when you're starting to feel like something is off, something's uncomfortable, but you wonder, is this me? Am I feeling like, is there something bothering me I don't realize is bothering me? Or is it someone else? Is this someone else's? So one of the things you can do is check in with yourself, but it requires for you to disengage from the energy of that is around you, and go within yourself and get clear on what's me, what's me, and then you get what's called a baseline of what's me. Then you can come back and face the group, sit down at your board meeting or whatever you're in, and you can just energetically connect with each one around the table, and you'll feel where that offness is. So it'll give you more clarity of where it's coming from, and will give you an opportunity to then check in with that person and just say, you know, I don't know what this is, if this is something with me or something going on with you, but I just want to check in with you because I feel like, you know, there's something that
going on.
And it could be that that person just found out something
else that
difficult
happened in
with
their
family. That they just
and they're
didn't
just
wanna
thinking
share.
about it in their mind, and they're not really
They're
here,
carrying it in
and they're
their
not even
vibration.
hearing anything because they're thinking about something else.
Exactly.
But then at least you have the awareness of it, and if you can just, you know, tune in with them and sometimes just energetically become present with them, then they'll be like, wait, why am I thinking about lunch tomorrow?
It allows it to, what I would call, dissipate. It allows the charge, once it's acknowledged that there's just something there, and I don't need to know, it's not, I don't want to violate someone's privacy. It doesn't matter, you don't have to tell everybody all about it, but just being able to own that dissipates the charge so that you can then come back into being present.
Right. I love that. Yeah. So that was one of the experiences I had with the horses. One of the other ones, you know, that, I mean, it was just, we presented a question to the horse, and it was kind of a generalized question. I think it was, if there was something that I could receive to be more of me, what would that be? You know, it's just kind of like, you know, you didn't expect it to like totally change and go in all these different directions, and it totally did. And so I went up to the horse and presented it with the question with zero expectation, you know, other than, you know, and if anything, I'll just be near a horse, right? And in communion with it. And we went through an experience where I connected energetically with the horse's being, with the horse's heart, and things just started like, it was like energies outside of me just started coming through, and they'd come in like words. And, you know, it was like simple things like be still, be present, you know, and little things like that. And then it started to get even like go off on a whole different tangent of stuff, you know, and I had Barbara there journaling for me, and I was just going through it in a very, very present moment. And there was some, you know, at this level of, you know, most of you know that I've been on this free to be journey for myself for many years. So in some way, you know, I'm like, what? There's that also? Right? And and at the end of the day, I was realizing that I had some kind of belief system within all that I was that had me go, I was a little fearful because I have the ability to just have fun and create these projects, and in some way I was holding back from like just being in the creation of it, because I felt that by doing it, I was doing it to make people envious of me. It was, I think,
all these
that
things
how it
came
came
up
out?
for you that
Yeah.
were like, what is that?
I was like, where did that come from? And then I realized that didn't feel very light. And so we asked questions until it, you know, lightened up, and it actually got to, no, I can just create and out-create myself. And if they choose to be envious or not, then that's their choice, and it has nothing to do with me. And I think that was huge for me, because now I can be in a place where I can just continue to create instead of like worrying about other people and making them feel bad and, you know, having those kind of ties. So, and that was just one of the profound messages that I just remember off the top of my head that I was like, whoa. And I think that there were others that we just cleared along the way, and it was like, nope, done with that. And then there was, you know, some profound messages that I'm like, okay, done, and done.
So one of the things that happens that's so wonderful about the process of opening and allowing is that any residual of any little thing, you know, that's there will come up. And it comes up in a way that's lighter. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to fall to pieces, you know, this is hard and horrible. It comes up so quick like that, so that you're able to, like, boom, let it go, let it go, let it go.
Right.
But if it's there and you want it to be there, you want it to come up. If there's anything there, I want it out, right? Because I want to live in this place of beingness. From the clarity of who I am.
That was what I felt like, you know, and when that came up, I was like, I could see how I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You know, how I'm holding back a little bit, which was the answer to that question. If I'm holding back from being all of me, what else is there?
Yeah.
What is the resistance, I think is how we asked it. And so, and then that envy thing came up, and then the horses acted out.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was, you want to share about that story?
No, let me just give a little backup about that.
Okay.
First of all, because I am on this side of it, I know horses, there's different ways people get things. You either get it through a personal awareness, or you get it through what you see makes a sense to you about something. So you could hear words, you can see things, they could act out a play, you could see colors. It's however you learn. So part of what happened in your experience, for example, is you had a stream of consciousness that was happening for you. And as you were hearing, you were asking the question, you were opening to the possibilities. I believe their vibration, horses' vibration, is so high, it helps us lift ours so that we get the clarity that we may not have been able to get from this other
from the level that we were at.
That's right. That's right. So I think that's what's going on. So,
yeah, I like it.
So here you are, and you had this profound awareness, and we moved away from the session, but the horses kept going. So then another horse came in and started to enact a play that was part of your question. You know, as your question started to unfold, other pieces became in your awareness, in your consciousness, that then this play started between the mare and the gelding. And it was obviously
it was kind of a like, you're in there and why am I not kind of thing. Because she does work in what like a picadero. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, picadero.
Picadero, which is a certain.
It's a square. It has a certain dimensions of a square, and it's what the European Templar Knight dates back to the Templar Knights and the training and the health and well-being and balance of a horse.
Okay, so so a horse chooses me to work with me, and then we go in the picadero. So one of the horses was in the picadero, and the other one came up going, "What are you doing there?" it seemed like a kind of I'm bothered that you're in there and I'm not, kind of thing, which was exactly the word that I had just come up with, or the energy of it, and that was the energy of what that was feeling. You know, that there was this envy thing that was being bugged with me, and which seems as if it was the resistance that was holding me back from really stepping to that next vibrational level of me being all of me. And that was so I had a certain interpretation of that, and you wouldn't even share your interpretation.
But that is the interpretation.
Right.
It is. It's your truth.
Right.
What you see. It isn't about the facility.
So you just brought up the awareness, and you know, and I'm like, so what do you think it meant? So what do you think it meant? And you know, she plays this totally, you know, I'm here to facilitate this for you with non-judgment, and that, you know, just being an allowance of, it's not good or bad or right or wrong, but this is this, and if I desire to choose to change it, then great. If I desire not to choose to change it, then so what? But it's the awareness of it. So you facilitate the higher, well, I wouldn't even say it's still hierarchy level, but it is a vibrational probably hierarchy, but it's an opening of awareness. And doing it with the horses was really like, and you don't have to be with them that long. I think that was what, it's like they started the energy up in me. It was kind of like they gave me a giddy up, you know, and then it was sustainable.
Yes.
Yeah, or, you know, and it just kept going. And then we came inside and we just kept exploring. We didn't even need to be with the horses
Right.
that much. It was just to open the door to the awareness. And then it brought up, yeah, that was gorgeous. Yeah.
I'm so glad you got to
Yeah.
experience it.
Yeah. Oh, and there were so many other things that I wish I could share, you know, because what's the observation one that I did the first day?
There's something that a lot of people don't know is their body is picking up on the nonverbal cues all the time.
Uh-huh.
So one of the exercises I have is creating this awareness of what's me and what's you, what's you, what's you, what's you.
Right.
So you went out and you had an opportunity to tune in energetically with each of the horses. But you started with an awareness of what's you.
Yes.
So it begins this inner dialogue of what's going on. And
Right.
While you were out there having this experience, one of the horses in particular had a big message for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of interesting because every single horse had something different.
Yeah.
And then this one horse had, you know, brought up sadness and like some sort of energetic gulp in my throat, like a knot or a lump, and which brought up the, you know, whole, I did an event and I lost my voice and it brought all that up, and then it brought up all this sadness, and it was like a waterfall. And in some way there was like me wanting to run to the next horse, but it was interesting. And then when it kind of dissipated, I did go to the next horse and it was totally gone. And I think that was what, and it's like that story and everything wasn't even there. It was just, I was tuning into a whole different presence, which is quite a cool awareness, not just to have with the horses, but just to have in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts to build that,
Yeah.
for me, that vibrational beingness. The horses have helped me learn how to master that within myself. They help all of us that come here learn how to master that.
Yeah.
But it becomes something you take with you everywhere. You can tap back into that clarity. And really, and this may sound like out there, but it's everything. It's the horses, it's the trees, it's the rocks, it's everything. We start to connect from this place of beingness and
and being connected with everything. Yeah.
And I love how you do this. You drop down in, because that's exactly what it feels. It's like living
one of the
in this place.
exercises, I'm like, you know, so if I ever feel that I'm in my mind, I literally imagine all of that going first here, and then dissipating with the heart energy, and then, you know, and then dissipating with any other cellular memory that has to happen in the gut. And then I can operate and connect more from a space of being, you know, than a space of like head thinking. Yeah.
And didn't you find when you were in there, you just went into here?
Oh, yes.
There was no conscious effort to do it. It's like, I get this, I get this, I get this. I mean, I was writing so fast.
There was no thought. I think it wasn't like a thought from me. It was a thought of knowingness through me.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the vibration. Reaching that point allows you
and
to
that's
be
cool.
Oh my God.
So cool. All right. So I know that, you know, we talked a little bit before, because I wanted to make something incredibly fun for you so that you could get introduced to Barbara's work. So I twisted her arm, and I literally am like, do this for my people. And so she has put together something extraordinary, and I wanted to have her give you a little bit of an experience. I said, so share a piece of it that's just totally profound, that can give you guys an energetic experience. And so will you share
what
yeah,
that is?
I would love to.
So understanding that vibration is everything, and getting yourself into that place of openness requires that you, again, quiet the mind and open to this place of possibility. When we can raise to that vibration, is that okay to say raise it?
Yeah.
I don't mean higher, but when we can open to that high vibration, we are open to infinite possibilities within ourselves. So I've created something that when people can't get to me with the horses,
Right.
that they can do at home through meditation, and it's 11 different audios.
11 different audios.
Yeah, and a workbook that goes with it, so that you can go through steps, and it's really fun because you raise to this vibration for the period of the audio, and you get yourself to this place of openness, and we focus on each area of your life in each of these modules. So we do your personal relationships and romantic relationships, we do your environment and where you live, we do your career and your life focus, and there's 8 different pieces of those. But the key is not just opening to what can be, like a vision board. A lot of people have this idea of a vision board where I'm just allowing my subconscious to speak to me. It's not allowing your subconscious at this level to speak to you. It's raising to the vibration of quieting all of this and opening to this, opening to this and the potential of each of those areas. And it's really fun because you stay in that high vibration for a period of 20 minutes, and then you create from there, and we move through each of the segments, and then in the end we put that together in what I call a living mandala, because everything is vibration. So what you've created all along, you then culminate into this piece that carries that energy, that then becomes your trajectory for where it is your heart's pulling you to.
So can you take us through like a little tiny piece of the mala, or will that take too long?
I could take you through a piece of the process. The mandala is the end piece that you have that carries that vibrational whole, but all the pieces going up to it are the key components. So yes, I can take you through those.
Cool.
Okay. So if you close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths, clearing breaths. And allow yourself to let go of any preconceptions. Allow yourself to just be in this place of infinite possibility. We'll start with the focus on your environment. Feel yourself full of inspiration and deep, deep abiding peace as you look out all around you. Notice what it is that you're seeing. Are you amongst the trees? Are there leaves, beautiful green leaves, trees that bring the energy of life? Are you near the ocean? Can you hear the sound of the waves and smell the salt of the sea? Are you near the mountains? Are you sensing that deep, nurturing presence of ancient land? Are you in the city? There is no right or wrong. It's just an awareness of what you feel. Notice where your energy is pulling you. Where's the lightness? Where's the heaviness? For in you is your own guidance system. In you is everything you need to know about what is uniquely you and pulling you forward. So open to that guidance as you feel and you look around you. What surrounds you? What nurtures your soul? As you're doing this, I would provide you with paper and pen so that you could be writing out all the visions that come to you in this. All of the visions. If you see specifics, is it a home? Are you living in community with others? Are there other people nearby? Or are you on a vast expanse of land with nothing but nature that surrounds you. For your environment, where you live, where you work. See the highest potential that serves your soul and aligns with your spirit and calls you forward in this incredible life that you've chosen to live. Notice the sounds you hear. Notice the faces that you see. Smell the air and feel the comfort, the inspiration, and the deep, abiding joy. Reach out and touch the energy of this space. Allow every sense in your mind to feel that beingness, that oneness with all that is, that supports you and loves you. In all of your infinite possibility. And so it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So, how was that for you? What did you see?
Well, there's so many sensations going on. It's just like a little being orgasm for me because I've got the sun, we've got the wind, the dog was moving, the dog came up at one spot, there's birds chirping, there's occasional horse noises in the back, and there was just so much sensation for me, and that I just was, my whole body was just tingling.
So when I would say, are you in the city with the energy of the people, or are you in the land with the great expanse of nature? What felt more light? What felt more heavy? Was there a sense of energy pull in one or the other, or any of those pieces?
Well, I know I don't want to be in the city, and no, I don't want to be in the country. So the energetic vibration is more hip, cool, casual. There would be horses, there's that energy of it. It's that energy of it where it's not like I wouldn't be excluded or secluded. But I also wouldn't be like in the hustle and bustle of everything.
All right.
And so it offers
so there were horses.
Right,
yeah, and you had some space, but not like aloneness.
But not aloneness, and not like it would take me miles and miles to get out of town.
Right.
There would be water. Yeah. And there would be warmth. Yeah. Well, that. Yeah. Feeling where I could come out in my flip-flops at any time, and
cool.
Yeah, and experience the sun sensation. The sun and water, And swimming for me has been huge.
Perfect swimming.
Yeah.
So what those would be the things you'd be writing down.
Yeah.
Because we can make anything possible in our logical
if we can be in the vibration of it.
But if we can be in the vibration in that place of allowing, then you can get more clear, more specific. So I want water, I want warmth, I want people somewhat near, but yet my own privacy, and I want horses, and
what I love about it is it's not about, the vision of it. So then there's no attachment. The house has to have 5 bedrooms, hardwood floors, but
it's general.
But or it's the vibrational. The vibration of hardwood floors. The vibration of a big house with 5 bedrooms. Is that, what does it feel like to be in that vibration? And then that's the vibration that really brings the things to us.
Exactly.
And it works on all levels, I've found in my life. But I think you're right, vision board and visioning are somewhat, it's expansive but limited.
And when you can create the trajectory, I call it a trajectory.
I like that word.
When you can create that, it's like you have this GPS system in here that if we tune into it and ask the questions like that and pay attention to the vibrational hit we get a more clear, because how many of us say, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I know I just want to change.
Take the time to uncover it. It's almost like it's already inside of you.
It is.
Or at least from the universe infinite being of you. But that infinite being hasn't communicated it through your body because you've never even opened the door or space of what. So you said the product's 11 CDs. You shared about the mandala.
The creating the mandala at the end.
I guess a mala is 108 beads, right? It's still in a circle.
Well, it's a piece that carries a vibration. So the key to this work, it's a tool.
Yeah, like all tools, right?
But this makes it easy.
I like it.
To vision and create and to hold that vibration, and then you create this piece at the end that holds this vibration.
Or just be the vibration.
Yeah.
Well, and then what I noticed with your work is you can step right back into it. You're like, oh, I feel like I lost it. And you step back in it. And what I've noticed with myself is sometimes it's like I will just blow up and I'll come back a little. But I never go back. And you said that's same, especially with the horse work. And I know just being with my own horse that I received that. And I think she's been the one that's really facilitated that, where I'll go, and then I'll just go just a little. And then I can get back into it with her, or with you, or with other tools and practices and processes, and then it just goes, and it's
incredible journey.
It's profound. Yeah. So I know your package was like what, $1,500 or more? Was it more than that?
When you was $1,495.
So that's $1,495. And I've twisted her arm, and she's totally reduced it because I wanted you guys to really come in and experience it. We're only going to allow you a limited amount of time. So watch emails, because there's a limited amount of time that we're keeping this open, because it's not really fair to her, because it is, and it's a profound journey, and it is worth $1,495. So but she wanted to do it for you guys, and she wanted to make it available for you, so that you could really start understanding this deeper vibrational being work. And then if you chose to come to a retreat out with the horses, and
you can take it even deeper for sure.
Right.
Once we build this foundation, then we get clarity on where the resistance pops up, if it does. And that's our work.
Right.
That's
can you list what else is in the product for them one more time? I know there's CDs.
There's CDs.
And there's a few other things.
Yes, there's 2 different workbooks that go with it. Okay. One is to help get gets you prepared to do the program, which helps you be aware of your self-talk and your mindset and the way we create our difficulties in life.
Right,
So we can help ourselves be more clear and let go of what we don't need, what doesn't serve us, so that we can be open to raising the vibration for this period of time. And we can't live in this high vibration and function we've got to drive our cars.
Yeah.
We've got to be able to, you know, be present in what is to live. But if we can create this space of beingness and openness to the possibilities so that we can create the trajectory, then we can come back and live. But we have this map, you know, we have this inner GPS that's pulling us that way. So the first piece is to get yourself mentally ready, emotionally, mentally ready to open to the vibration. Then the second piece, which is the 11 CDs, are to help you in every category, bring focus to each category from a vibrational and physiological place, working with all of your senses. And then the last part is the creation of the mandala. So those are all of the pieces.
Yeah, that's neat. Okay, fantastic. So, and we've reduced the price. It's $297. There'll be a link below. So if it calls you, it's below. And in the hot community, I'm going to twist your arm for a special Q&A call. So if you're part of hot, there'll be some information about it below.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.